Never before in all our history have these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
The needs of working families in the middle class, not just the billionaire class. We know what's going on. We are paying attention.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is definitely Saturday. It's 10. And it's been a really crazy week for lots of reasons. Oh, and there's the thing starting over again. Shut up, will you? I don't even do this show right anymore because we got so many other things going on. Good morning, everybody. How are you? We got Laura and we got Markus. I'll turn our audio on. Hey, guys. Good morning, both of you. How are you?
Good morning. Happy solstice. Happy Festivus.
Oh, yeah.
Happy whatever it is you might celebrate. This is one of my favorite times of year, and I just started a 10-day vacation, so I'm happy today.
Nice for you, privileged white woman. How about you, Markus? What's Christmas like in Germany?
Yeah, let me start with Merry Christmas, America. Hey guys, how are you? Yes, Christmas in Germany is for those with family and kids. It is of course the best time of the year, and for us grown-ups, it's a time to relax and after the year's work and and appreciate the break. There's a lot to do to prepare for next year as well, but all will be in a very slow manner, and I appreciate the holidays.
Yes, although nothing feels like a slow manner right now. But I do appreciate the holidays. Ashley Terry, I see you in the chat. Good morning to you and everybody else. Maybe I did inadvertently tell Martin Luther King to shut up. It wasn't really my plan. I don't know. Apologies, MLK. Wouldn't really matter at this point anyway. But you know where I was really going with that. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
But if you want to spin that narrative, you go right ahead. There's a lot of that going on these days. It's really hard to keep track of which narrative we should be paying attention to. There's before I forget, and I'm going to forget a lot of things because of how much is happening right now. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been a volunteer in this organization or is currently a volunteer or has donated anything or done anything for us. Share, like, doesn't matter, because we're for real and we're growing and it's pretty awesome, and it's all because of you guys. Look, my Lanta, which I'll explain, is Larry. Larry is Santa of Uphill Media now, and so Santa plus Larry makes a Lanta, and then because he's my Santa, because he buys me things like this, he's my Lanta, which is, I know, it's bad, but the reason he can buy me stuff like that is because you guys have been donating money. It's not like this is coming out of Larry's pocket, right? If there's money there, he buys me the things I need. So that's a brand new, smoking, badass gamer card, graphics GPU that I just put into Eileen 1. And the old one is going to go into Scott. And Scott is probably going to go to, I don't know, Portland or Washington, or they'll share it between Portland and Washington, and we'll be able to do more stuff. So that's, that's cool. That's thanks to you guys, all right? So I want to show you what we have going on. There's a lot of stuff.
Oh, my pretty chart.
Yes, this is your pretty chart, and it's not even accurate.
There you got it, Laura.
Well, move a little fast for me these days, dude. There might be stuff missing. I can't keep up with it all.
That's it. Well, and you are exactly right. That's what it is. It's just I learned. Actually, Larry told, I don't know, told me, he told somebody about this other event happening. I just forgot, and it's not on the list, which is why we can't keep track. So I'm going to blame Larry. But these are, the blue are shows that are regular, just reoccurring. We the People, Progressive Washington, which just launched, and we're going to talk about that. Hey, Rhonda, if you're in the audience, and everybody else from Progressive Washington, you guys did a great job.
They kicked ass.
Right?
Yeah.
Then we have this show, which has become the Progressive Weekly Review, so that we're no longer competing with whoever they are. I can't remember who they are, the whatever. And then Progressive Oregon with Larry, which and Betsy, which has been going on and going great. And then Progressive California, which is going to start real soon. When is that, Laura Livengood?
January 7th. That's Sundays at 7 o'clock. And that is Sunday, January 7th will be our first, and Stephen Jaffe will be our first guest. And we are going to be talking about a primer for progressives, reminding everybody what the different offices are, what the responsibilities are, and we're going to be bringing in a series of candidates, as part of the show to talk about different aspects and different roles. And then we'll be doing, Joseph Sakata is going to be my co-host and news editor for the show, and he's going to put together news reports, and then we're going to try and keep up with all the freaking events and things that are going on in California, because that is one busy state. I was fortunate enough to meet Gail McLaughlin in person last Sunday at a reception up at Adriel Hampton's house, and it was fabulous, and she gave a wonderful speech that I hope we can put up. And the Berniecrats are on fire. The Justice Democrats are on fire. The Our Revolution people are on fire in California. So it's going to be really fun to report what they're doing to y'all.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, very excited about that. And to answer your question, Jilly Love, Mylanta is for upset tummies. I suppose you could call it that. Diarrhea emulsion.
He soothes things. He soothes things for you.
I would rather think of
nice.
Mylanta as, soothing than diarrhea emulsion. What a horrible thing to think of. And Larry, I hope you're not watching today. Thank you so much for keeping shit straight. Larry is also the one dealing with all the books and the money and the crap.
Yeah.
Which is all the stuff that I hate. And that was my provision. I was like, let's make a business. You've got this and me, whether you think that's a benefit or not, but I just won't touch the books and the money and the shit. And these guys made that happen. You made that happen. Yes, Al, your however much you donated, from 25 cents, 25 bucks, what, 250, doesn't matter what you donated. Every little penny has gone to help this network grow. Right? So thank you. Thank you all so much. That's the best Christmas. There's more, but wait, there's more. Right? So got all the progressive shows running. We the Peeps. There's the 20, which I haven't even had time to book. There's also a bunch of people in Oregon I need to be interviewing, and I'm not. Larry's doing it, though. Larry's interviewing at least one, if not two, candidates on his show, which is really tough to manage, and he's doing a great job at it. So congratulations, Larry. We've got We the People with Jess Phoenix coming up, Allison Hartson, which will be very interesting now. This is what I forgot to... I didn't add to the slides, guys. But to notice what just happened with Justice Democrats and Cenk Uygur.
Bye, Cenk.
Bye, Cenk. So, no love lost there for me. And good for JD on booting his ass and recovering, righting the ship, and moving forward, right?
And doing it quickly and straightforwardly and honestly, and just explaining exactly what their reasons were, and then done. I thought that was shocking, but welcome.
Yeah. TYT's had some issues lately. Karma.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jilly Love, I have no idea how to use Bitcoin. The only person I know who does is, there's two people. One would be Freeman Michaels, right? He's a candidate who totally knows what the hell is going on there. I have no idea. The other would be Chad Lupkes, who always messages me about... He's always showing me this stuff and talking to me about it, and I have no idea what's going on. But you could hit up one of those two people, and they might be able to help you with that, because that's
Mickey San Miguel, who used to be one of our regular volunteers and hosts, knows a lot about it too. If y'all are friends with him on Facebook, he talks about it a lot.
There you go. Yeah, I wasn't aware. So, all right, my microphone thing is floppy today. That sounds bad. I got to figure out why. I bet
there's information about Bitcoin on the internets that one could find.
Probably. There's lots. The thing is, you got a lot to wade through, and it just took a tumble recently, and people are calling it it's a balloon market. I have no idea. There's an Onion video. There we go. Thank you, Ashley. Find the Onion video. I'm sure it will actually do just as good a job of explaining it as anything else will. You know. Yes, Jilly Love, I agree. His attitude in general, although he loved Hillary before Bernie. Don't forget that. So he wasn't all bad on women all the time.
Well, does she count it?
I don't know.
She's more like the Borg. I think she's a separate entity.
You know, she's mulling over getting involved in the 2018 midterms.
Oh, talk about a fluffy, distracting article that was. Oh my goodness.
I mean, which
anyway,
one?
Keep going.
Oh,
keep going.
Right.
The mulling one.
Oh yes. So there's more. Wait, there's more. Adrienne Bell, Peter Jacob, David Gill, Wendy Reed, J. Darnell Jones, and Mally Hyman.
That's actually Mal. I added an extra Y.
There. Oh, I thought so. Mal. Yeah, I like that name, Mal.
Yeah. But lots of different states. We've got Texas, New Jersey, Illinois, Texas, South Carolina, and California. These are a lot of brand new Congress folks who I reached out to at the beginning of the month, who have been stepping right up and going, yeah. So, and now I'm going to switch over and focus on the Justice Democrats list, and there's a huge overlap actually between the two. But anybody who's not on brand new Congress will be my next target.
Nice. Thank you for all that hard work.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're getting
fun.
paid.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel. They're like, yeah, it's not a hard sell.
Take up a pay raise.
Thank you.
Add another 2 zeros. You too, Markus.
Yes.
You guys have been doing great work.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
Go for the gold now.
I'm a very generous employer. I'm not even there. They're my boss. You realize that they can take their own raises. I don't know why I say these things. Then we have continuing. These are all the events. These are not all the events. There's one that's not even on this list that we're working on. On the 13th of January, we got the Washington Homeless Advocacy Town Hall, right? Yeah. Housing and Homelessness. Supreet is putting that together. The Sarah Smith campaign, big part of that. And we're really excited to work with them. That Ashley Terry is going to have to haul his butt up there and do this work. Thank you, Ash, for going up there, because I don't want to. And then we have the RWIT, Redefining Women in Tech, which is, we're not sure when this is going to happen, but this is really freaking cool because this is us using engagement broadcasting and these systems, hooking it up to 4K cameras and pushing it out as a 4K stream to YouTube. And it's only going to be 2 4K cameras. It's not going to be that crazy the first time out because of what we're trying to do. But we're working between 2 colleges. And this is on grant money from Mozilla. And there's another grant after that. So we're doing another broadcast after that. And this is what this system was built for. So I'm very excited about that and learning a lot about what campuses do and don't know how to do, like live streaming. And so it's going to be really fun to work with them on that kind of stuff. They're really great at producing stuff, but it's all kept in-house. And so this is going to be fun, bridging that world. And I want to bridge that educational world. It's time to make modern 21st century education not siloed in a classroom. It's time to evolve education to what we're used to working with with tools anyway, right? I mean, this is our kids educate themselves already vastly differently than we would like them to in a traditional school. So it's time that we upgrade our methods, in my personal view. Anyway, so we got something going on with somebody who wants to work with us on making videos for David Hildebrand, or I don't even know what, Laura Livengood, do you know more about that?
No, I haven't talked to her yet.
Okay.
We've been approached by someone from California who really wants to adopt David as a cause and wants us to help us put together some videos that she can show at house parties.
And that's awesome. And I just want to say to everybody out there, I mean, that's, if you want to do work like that and volunteer your time to help a particular candidate, that's great. Mm-hmm. We're here for you. We'll see. We'll work with you. That's what we do. So, thank you very much. That'll be fun. Mm-hmm. Then we have, especially
if we have interviewed them, because we already have footage and a lot of their talking points, and we can put that together into package it.
Yeah, exactly.
Easily.
Exactly.
So, think about that.
Right. We also have Rural Organizing Project. This is another thing that's coming up, and I think Ashley Terry knows more about this than I do, but that's another thing. Then, yeah, I know that says Nina Rally Moda Center live stream, and then there's a month of June in there. So, yeah, that's supposedly going to happen. I know she's supposed to be out here, and hopefully that will happen, and I don't know about the whole Moda Center and everything. That would be freaking cool. But
it's just a placeholder for that time, so we don't forget.
Yeah. Then there's Justin Bryce has some new stuff in the works, and this is CBI. He works for a company that basically does really cool. We're going to be talking about it more. We'll talk about data sets and what he does and everything. But they're working on a show that would be ecology-based, conservation-based, but using their data sets to talk about different areas. And it's very, very cool. So that's another thing in the works. Then Cindy Matthews, longtime volunteer, reached out and is interested in working with us on maybe broadcasting live streams or doing rallies that are happening in Ohio. Ohio is definitely one of the key states that we want to work with. My goal, just to everybody, my goal is 50 shows, 50 states, 50 solos. All right? I got 1 solo and 3 shows. So we got a lot of friggin' work to do. Right? I can get these puppies for $1,000 instead of $1,500, and that means for $1,500 we get one of these and 2 USB cards. If we get $1,500 together for, actually we need $500 for this. It's the next thing we're raising money for, so that we have this ready to go, because I don't have the USB cards for this anymore. Right? The deal with LiveView was that we get the solo, but now we have to pay for our own USB cards through Verizon or AT&T or whoever they are. That's going to be about $500, but it's a one-time cost, and then we have them and we just use them until they break, right? So we need to raise that money for this, and then this can travel around, and I want to use it for Washington, Oregon, California, and the Western Wall. Then we need to get another one and plant it in the Midwest, and we get another one and plant it on the East Coast. And really, if you've got a lot of, our Revolution group, this is not a lot of money to have to raise between a bunch of groups for a state to have their own live stream upstream. And we'll work with you to coordinate on those live streams. And the other gear that you need to get, everybody pretty much has already, right? So this is one. The shows, I want to get these shows going in every state. This is taking over of the narrative, because MSM Media is not delivering the truth. And we need to become the networks that are going to do that. But remember, these are more strategy for how we take over our government. How we become the democracy we want to see. Nobody likes the word takeover. Anyway, it was a corporate takeover of our democracy. Why can't we just have a people takeover? There's nothing wrong about that. And it deserves a little agitation and rage. Anyway, that's the big plan. And the one more on here is that Maria Garcia, who is the really kick-ass, she's running for, I think, no, I'm not going to get the title right. She's running for something in Portland, and she wants to do another town hall or an event somewhere in Portland for some reason. So that's another one, and that's awesome. That's what we're here to do. For all of these events, that's going to take a lot of volunteer time, people that make cards and graphics, work on the content team, on the graphics team, on the tech teams, drive around, going places, all this stuff takes time, takes money. So thank you all for your donations of time and money. That's how this organization works. And we've got a lot of shit going on, don't we?
And it's fun.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
With that, how's the world news looking, Marcus?
The world news, yes, we have to wait until the Christmas time. Katie is now busy with her family, and I hope that Björn is doing better in the new year. And as soon as they're ready, back on board, we will start to go into details, and then we can start.
All right. Well, that's fine.
We'll take over the world next year.
Yes, next year. If we're around, we're going to get next year. All right. Trump did it. Everything? What did he do?
No, they're still talking about your MLK FDR thing at the beginning of the show.
Are you kidding me?
They're having a little bit of a hard time moving on from that, because people are joining in and getting in the middle of the conversation. It's just a mess.
Oh, all right.
We're going to start over now.
Didn't even know it was that good.
Let's talk about Washington.
Actually, I'm going to talk about first before we talk about the Washington show. I want to talk about Larry Taylor's show. Okay, because we had this show with the ladies and it was amazing. And I don't know if you, I mean, I don't know if you guys heard the conversation, but it was incredible. I'm going to play a 5-minute clip of Supreet because we've had Dorothy. We've talked to Dorothy on the show before. We've talked to Sarah Smith. Really haven't had an opportunity to talk to Supreet. And those of you who don't know who she is, Supreet Kaur is one of these power women who get shit done.
She's awesome.
Right? And she's, you know, she's not in the spotlight because she's not running for any office. She doesn't have time to run for office. She works full time. She's got a child. She's got a husband. She's got, and then she's working on, I don't know how many different campaigns and organizations. She's just insane. And I want to just shine a spotlight on her because we need to recognize people within the revolution that are doing things that aren't just candidates, right? Candidates have the toughest job of all. But the rest of us are either swinging work and then volunteer work like Laura and Markus do. You know, there's very few of us that are like privileged, spoiled assholes like me who get to just do this during the day and not have to worry about anything. So give me a second.
And she'd want to say King County, Our Revolution is her main jam.
Yes. Is that okay? That's her main jam, Our Revolution, King County. All right.
Yeah.
So this is Supreet Kaur talking about just what she does. They do. You know.
We do that by Larry. Hi.
Hey, hang on. Let's start at the beginning.
So our first guest today is Supreet Kaur, who is with Our Revolution King County. Welcome, Supreet.
Thank you for having me, Larry. Hi.
Thank you for being here. So tell us about your group and what you're doing.
So we are a fairly new group, but what we want to do in the Northwest is form a coalition, learning from the movements before us, build a movement for the moment that is about to come. And my belief is we do that by forming a coalition with Greens, progressives, socialists, independents on issues that we care about. Educating the community on solutions, not just the problems that we have, because it's so many times it's so easy to mislead the community. But the media does that when they have vested interests. The politicians do that. When the populace is educated, that's when the democracy does best. So that is our plan here in the Pacific Northwest: form a coalition across the West Coast, bring together these groups on different issues, and educate the community on these issues and the solutions that we can propose. Now, the way we want to do it is, like I thought of having a convention, a summit every month on different issues. Our first one that we are going to have is on homelessness. We are going to have an advocacy summit, a town hall for progressive democracy, and talk about what we have done so far locally, nationally, globally, what has been working, what are the problems that the activists face when they try to help their comrades on the streets. So that's the first step, educating the populace. The next one, we're hoping we can have these conventions every month. This is the first one. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what the response of the community is. And the next one is going to hopefully be in February on ending wars. And we're going to take it from there, and one issue at a time, and talk about it. Bring in people who have been doing work in that area to talk about it.
But if you end wars, how will the American economy survive?
Yeah, that is a problem. We need to diversify. So my idea of the military is we need to have a humanitarian military. Let's have it, and let's actually do good work. Let's help with disaster relief in poor countries. Let us help build solar panels in poor countries. Let us recognize that we are part of the same species. We share the earth with other animals. Recognize that and work and sustainably work towards creating an earth that is good for all of us, and not just colonize the entire planet and space beyond.
So if I wanted to join your group, how would I do that?
We have, so you can go to Our Revolution National page, and they have all the groups listed. Ours is a recognized group, so it'll be one of that. Or you can go onto our Facebook page, Our Revolution King County, and there's a sign up button on there.
Excellent. And I have some details about the town hall and homelessness later in the program, and we can talk about it again for
Absolutely.
who might want to join.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Should I go ahead and fill it in now about the event?
Nice. Why don't you go ahead and tell us the details?
Okay. So the one we are having in January is on January 13. It is called Town Hall for Progressive Democracy, Housing and Homelessness. Tickets can be found on our Facebook page and on Eventbrite. Uphill Media is our media partner, and we have a fantastic panel. Our keynote speaker is Timothy Harris. He's the founder of Real Change News Network that has done great work in the area of homelessness. And we have representatives from Democratic Socialists of America in Seattle. We have Sarah Smith on our panel. We're going to have Stop the Sweeps, which is very active in the Seattle area, doing direct action work with the homeless, with the houseless. And we have caseworkers, veterans. And I think this is going to be a very, very power-packed panel. And I hope
if I'm a Microsoft millionaire and I had spare money to throw at you, how would I donate to your cause so you can put on that great event?
Yep, you can go to Eventbrite and buy a donation ticket. That would be great.
Is
if
that
you're
it?
Bill Gates, do not put in money.
I got $1 million.
It's not going to be good for you.
I would encourage all Microsoft and Amazon millionaires to donate to this great cause.
You want to help us end homelessness.
That is the awesome Supreet Kaur doing a great job selling the event that we have coming up, talking about what's going on there. So I really want to thank her. And she just tells Larry what we're going to be doing next, basically. So, what? Can we talk about it now? Yes, we will. Yes. Oh,
She's
sorry.
awesome.
I had you guys on. Yeah, she is. She's amazing what she's doing up there, and yeah. So Supreet Kaur. And if you're in Washington, we need more people. We're going to be exploding things up there, wherever you are. If you want to get involved, we have things. We'll find out what you like to do, what you can do, what you want to do, and we'll put you to work. Right? You want to build a news crew in your state, we'll do that. You want to do a town hall, we'll do that. You want to come join our group and work with one of the programs we have existing, please do. Right? This is what we need to do. So
it's time to be brave. Step up, even if you're out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of that going on, and it's amazing once you can get past that point.
It is. We're dealing with life and death here, really, at the end of the day. So you might as well be bold. All right, so that was supposed to be like chipper.
You might as well be bold. I like that. Make a good bumper sticker.
Yes. You're going to die. Be bold. Merry Christmas.
Will you look back and be sad that we're bold? No.
Right. It will be interesting to see what will happen in Washington, Joseph. The whole western wall is going to be. We have to be the beacon of what democracy should be, because they ain't happening on the east. It's not happening in D.C. It's happening in like Janine Calkin. She's been making headway up there in Rhode Island, but they're also facing some serious. There was just reading. They got one of her the women's caucus got kicked out of some meeting. It's quite interesting. Anyway, we'll get more into that. Anybody in Rhode Island want to start that? Hey, Janine. She doesn't have time. Washington had their kickoff show, and it was badass. Rhonda Walker, Courtney Love, Brian Cheeseman, and the Ozman came on and did a great job with their first show. And the first show is always the tough one, and they pulled it off. These are the folks on the team doing the work. It's Rhonda Walker, Courtney Love, and Brian Cheeseman, and Oz. And you're going to be seeing some awesome stuff from them coming up. Really, really blown away by what they were able to work together and put together. Remember, all of these folks, they're all working, right? Just like you, not like me, just like you. They're all working. They're all, dealing with kids, lives, and this is what we have to do. So I just want to say thank you to Rhonda and team for putting on a great show. Looking forward to next Friday, and yeah, very excited about that. Said we were going to launch these, and I still want to do Iowa. I tried to reach out to the people we had in Iowa, and I don't know if we have anybody watching from there, but just because of Scott, and I would really like to get an Iowa crew going, but I know you guys are struggling right now, so Yeah,
We'll
same.
have to be satisfied with our western wall and build out from there. I'd like to get Nevada, actually. Next.
Paul
That's-
Chaitlin. I don't know if you watch the show anymore. Oh, sorry, Laura Livengood. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you saying?
No, I'm just saying things are heating up there for Amy Villela and team, and
Oh,
they've
yeah.
got
Oh,
lots
yes,
of progressives
yes,
in
yes.
Nevada. So yeah, we're working on that.
Yeah. Thank you, Al.
Wow. Thank you,
Al
Al.
just gave us some money. How nice.
Nice.
Merry Christmas.
For the
Merry
cards
Christmas.
needed to complete the solo. Woo! Excellent.
that's a great
Appreciate that. So we just, Amy Villela. And they were talking, they actually talked about her on Progressive Washington because they've endorsed her. Sorry, Laura. They endorsed her, the Washington Bernie-Crat Coalition, which is a cool group. It's a whole bunch of progressive organizations throughout Washington that are together just working on the same page. And I like that. I want to get all of the Democratic/progressive organizations in Oregon doing the same. I'd love for my Lynn County Democratic Party members to be cognizant of what's going on with the Progressive Oregon Caucus, because you guys really need to tie your resources together. And hey, Benton County Democrats, what the hell are you guys doing over there? Let's get together. We got stuff to do. We got to build our own ISP. We got to put up our own renewable energy grid. We got to cut ourselves off from LNG. We got all sorts of work to do down here. We got people with brains. We got colleges. We got resources. Come on.
Are you going to talk about the ISP idea, or is it too early?
I think we'll get to it. But
I didn't know if you had a slide for it. I didn't look ahead. So
Markus built the rundown in the slides.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I just want to. So thank you, Markus, for putting in the time and effort to make this easy for me.
Yes. Merry Christmas, John.
Thank you. I don't have to figure out it. What? Yeah. You're the Santa. You're my German Santa Claus. I gotta have one in Germany.
Please, no nicknames. Yes.
No. Although it would have something to do with the Scorpions if I could find one.
Of course.
No, what I'm hoping is that in the coming years, Germany and other European nations will have an Adopt an American program, where you will adopt an American family for 14 or 28 cents a day. You can help that American family feed their children. And
that's just a little too real now.
Okay.
It absolutely is. So, who's going to be the spokesperson? Can you be the spokesperson for Adopt an American?
I'm sorry, I don't see why you're complaining, John, because you just got the wonderful tax cuts and everything is beautiful, right?
I should be happy. MAGA, right?
MAGA.
I don't know. Looks like a good deal. I don't know how.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I will get a tax cut for a few years. It goes down, but. Well, great for me, but that's not what I'm actually concerned about. I didn't ask for a tax cut, and I don't make all that much money. But I'm concerned about all the things that will be sacrificed to pay for all these tax cuts that we did not ask for.
Yeah, I bet your cost of living is going to go up anyway, and so your tax cut is really not going to matter, and it only lasts for 8 years.
To justify the huge tax cuts for corporations, which are permanent, ours are temporary, to get us through people who are looking at the short term and the me only aspect, I could see why they would say, hey, this is not a bad thing. It's just those of us who are thinking of the other 99% than ourselves are very concerned.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's agreed. Thank you, Al. I'm reading your comment here. Hope my donation inspires others. Just doing my part. Many hands make light work. Many minnows make a whale.
Wow.
Yes, agreed.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Al. Phil
Many
Britton.
minnows make a whale. That's another T-shirt. Dang it.
Yes, it is. Phil Britton. We've been working on this. We're going to get into this right now. We need to municipalize ISPs city to city. And that's so. We're working on that with hopefully with Alexander Hagan and with Justin Bryce and the connecting of these resources, which is kind of badass. This is how it works. A year ago, I was like, this is really it's really cool. Christmas is really cool this year. The gifts are different. It's the gift of functioning democracy at a local level, right? The gift of understanding how it works. Justin Bryce, Charles Mann, people like Alexander Hagen, Larry Taylor, Laura Livengood, myself, Markus, but, via proxy because he's German. But the fact that we're all starting to learn how our government functions, what do we need to do if we want to make an ISP out of our city, or, a co-op, if we want to make a small business, what do we need to do if we're not happy with net neutrality and the FCC's rulings? What do we need to do if we want to get rid of a politician who sucks? We know now. We're working on it together. It's amazing. What do we need to do if mainstream media sucks balls and doesn't tell the truth? We create our own networks. We create our own broadcasts, or we buy our own upstream gear. We unify forces across states. We carry consistent information. We tell the truth. We do this thing, right? ISPs is just another piece of the puzzle. It's challenging, right? There are definitely some moving parts and some interesting things that have to get accomplished to make it happen. It's not impossible, and it's not one of those tasks. It's not that difficult. It's as difficult as starting a business, right? So if you have a whole lot of money to get it started and getting going right up front, great. If you don't, then it sucks more, right? But the first thing that has to happen with this, and we're going to talk about ISPs right now, and then we're going to get into a clip from We the People Meet Mike McCabe, because Mike McCabe was fascinating. Guy's a journalist, right? Won awards for being so, went to college for it, been working on the integrity of our government, democracy in general for a long time, and he's running for governor of Wisconsin, right? Yes, Wisconsin, which is great. We need somebody there that's not Scott Walker, right? Anybody, a beanbag. Doesn't matter. So here's the thing. With ISPs is that you had slides, Markus, you had slides.
Yes,
Yeah,
they're
here.
starting at 8.
Yeah, it's just the etheric network slide. But so this is how this goes. This is how we work together to make shit happen. So Etheric Networks does ultra-high-speed internet, but they do it through microwave dishes. These are not unlike the Dish TV dish, except they're designed to just pull internet, and they're designed to pull a specific microwave frequency that you can purchase. It's cheaper overall than using fiber lines or running cable to houses. I mean, eventually you're using those endpoints anyway. That's how it gets there. But you're putting these microwave dishes on towers. Alexander Hagen and his company can give us symmetric upload-download speeds. 100 megabits per second is great for any broadcast entity if you're getting that both ways. Right? Oh, that sounded bad. Sorry. Think about that. Anyway. The difficult part is cost, because you need, like, I don't know, if you're going to bootstrap it, $25,000, but then you have to have customers, or else you're going to run out of money and be toast really quickly, right? $100,000 and you get yourself up and running, and you've got a little bit of time. The bottom line is about 300 customers. You want 200 residential and 100 business. You have to find an area that is in need of better, more consistent internet than what they're getting now from Comcast or CenturyLink or any DSL. Rural areas. This is important because we need to mobilize and unify the rural areas of our nation. This is where the Great Divide exists already. And it's been our government that's worked very hard at cutting off the rural areas and misinforming the rural areas. And so they do things like vote for Trump. Or they vote Republican for decades because they just do. And we need to get them unified because they're going to start dying a lot faster because they voted for Trump and Republicans for decades. Right? So you find an area that has enough customers to make this work, and you offer them an internet package that is substantially faster and more consistent than what they get, it is going to cost a little more. And it is more of a pain in the ass because you're just buying internet. And as Alexander Hagen explained, you buy internet, and then the new model with consumers and content is that we have to go find the providers we want to buy content from create accounts and purchase that information. Comcast makes it easy because they went out and secured all those relationships, and then we pay Comcast one fee for their bundles. But we would have to pay for internet and then go to a company like Level 3, which is also a provider but not Comcast, and buy bundles. Or we would have to go out and individually pay for each thing we want. I want Amazon, I want Netflix, I want CBS, I don't need Fox, I don't need ABC, whatever it is you choose, right? You want ESPN, that's a separate thing. Or maybe you buy a sports bundle from somebody. But it becomes an individual consumer market. So for those of us that are tech savvy and like those options, myself, wife, right? And most people younger than us, I'm 47, they like those individual packaging, right? My dad hates it. And most people his age hate it. I don't want to do that. I go to Comcast to get my phone and my channels and my cable and right? They don't want to go individually shop. It's worth it for them to pay more money to the corporate entity than it is to go individual. This is what we have to change. We have to explain why it's of value to the rural communities that we want to put these ISPs in. And this is how we build our communities. Now, that can be done as a small business venture. What I was just explaining there is just doing it all by yourself as a small business venture. We're coming at this from a foot in, foot out approach. We're going to use data sets provided by Justin Bryce's company. It's not his company, but the company he works for, to look for these areas that make sense. Justin and Charles are going to figure out what we need to do to present the idea of a city-owned co-op to Corvallis and Albany, because I like the idea of making it a city thing. The city can come up with the money. There's all that money right there. And then if it starts with the cities and grows out, or starts with the rural and grows in, I'm all about it. This is what Longmont did. But even Longmont today has the problem of just offering the internet, and they have a link that takes people from their site to Level 3, where you have to buy your content from the providers. All right. And so Longmont is now getting people on board their internet. So anyway, that's the long-winded story. How does this all tie in with net neutrality and journalism today? All of that we're gonna listen to. What's his name? Mike McCabe. Talk about it. That's what we're gonna talk about it. Here you go. The next slide, everybody, is, and this, I want you to see this one. This is where we're going here. These two things, the Telecom Act and the Fairness Doctrine. I want to talk about these because you're journalists. The Fairness Doctrine, for everybody in the audience, used to be around, and it forced news networks who were using the airwaves for free, because the airwaves belong to us, to provide fair and balanced news. That was repealed in 1987 by Reagan's, and the Democrats were happy with it too, to repeal it, because it allowed news agencies to not provide equal information and to be biased. And then we had the Telecommunications Act in 1996. Well, it did some things that were okay. Mostly what it did was allow the consolidation of our media networks, which is why we went from about 4,000 media networks in the 50s to about 5 today. So, Mike, I'd like to talk to you as somebody who knows these. What would you do? We've got net neutrality being, destroyed. It does present an opportunity for us to create local ISPs. What do you think about all of this in the future of the narrative?
Well, I was trained as a journalist, and so I actually am familiar with what the Telecommunications Act of 1996 is and what it did, and as you rightly said, its big impact was to fuel the consolidation of media ownership, and we lost an awful lot of diversity in terms of media because media ownership has been concentrated in fewer and fewer hands since that federal legislation was enacted, and with the loss of the Fairness Doctrine, that has changed journalism tremendously. And to be honest with you, that's a major reason why I worked to start the Wisconsin Democracy Campaign, because of how journalism was changing and how media organizations were no longer doing the kind of investigative reporting about the influence of money in politics in places like Wisconsin. And so it was left to citizens to start nonprofit organizations to fill that void. And at the Democracy Campaign, what I fundamentally did was investigative journalism. I exposed the influence of big money and described for people the transactions between wealthy donors and elected officials. And that was an extension of my journalism background. And as for net neutrality, I personally would like to see Wisconsin become one of the states that is suing the FCC over the net neutrality decision. And so far, Wisconsin has been resistant to taking that action, and I think will remain resistant as long as Scott Walker is governor. But I would like to see Wisconsin join with other states in suing the FCC. To me, net neutrality is the First Amendment of the internet. It is the heart and soul of internet freedom, and I think a fair and open internet is so critically important to democracy, and it's a tool that future generations of Americans can use to transform American politics if it remains a free and open tool. And it's critically important to 21st century journalism. It wouldn't have been possible for the Wisconsin Democracy Campaign to do what it did without internet freedom. Our organization created the first online searchable database of campaign contributors in Wisconsin. We gave people the ability to follow the money, to see who was giving to whom, at just with one internet search. We gave people the ability to see how money is influencing our politics. That online tool wouldn't have been possible without a free and open internet, and so that work hinged on internet policy. So I feel incredibly strongly about the need to fight for more media diversity. That's why I applaud efforts like yours to bring voices to people not only in this country but around the world that otherwise wouldn't be heard because of the consolidation and homogenization of mainstream media in our country.
I'm glad you mentioned that word, because we can talk a little about what's happening right now in the latest ruling, where Sinclair Media is now allowed to basically own every local news station in America if they want, and that's a frightening. You know about the messages that they shove across all of their networks. Everybody's repeating that narrative, and that's one of the problems we have. When you talk about Wisconsin, when you talk about the Bernie Sanders message and how you saw the signs go up and come down, and the narrative that was played over that whole primary was really MSM, corporate-owned media, controlling what information Wisconsinites were hearing, right?
Absolutely, and that's the biggest single problem with media consolidation, with the concentration of media ownership in fewer and fewer hands, is that it homogenizes the news and information. If you have only a few owners in control of all these different radio stations, all these different television stations, all these different media outlets, if only a few huge corporations own them all, what they do is they offer the exact same news on all of those networks. They offer the exact same thing. There isn't the diversity of information. There certainly isn't the diversity of opinion that there needs to be. That's the biggest problem in my view with the Telecommunications Act of 1996, is it fueled so much consolidation of media ownership, which in turn made news and information all look alike all across the country. And it's very hard to get diverse and varied viewpoints, which is so critical to a healthy and working democracy.
And that's probably the best place to stop. Because when we lost viewpoints across our media, we lost a democracy. I mean, the media's job was to inform us about what the hell was going on with our government people. They failed. They told us a bunch of bullshit. Right? This happened before. This happened before, turn of the century, Teddy Roosevelt, muckrakers. We're here again. It's cooler this time, though, because we're not working with the printing press. We've got the internet. Much more fun. Times would have sucked to deal with that. Anyway, Mike McCabe. Thought that was awesome.
He was great.
He was.
Yeah.
What, Markus, you want to take a moment and talk about your, what you want to talk about? Oh, yes. So you want to talk about the UN thing and then the cars? Are they both?
Yes, we can do this right now.
All right.
Yes, we heard a lot about in the past week about the United Nations and Donald Trump's acting, and some called it bullying of the United Nations to follow his rules, as he is one of the most of the biggest money giver as American president. And the outcry was immense from what I saw in the media, and all were complaining about Donald Trump for being a bully and he cannot do this. And I'm completely of a different opinion, because Trump in his outstanding egoism and arrogance just showed how the United Nations worked for decades, and that it's all about money in the end, because we have very, very much problems in the world which stay unsolved by just keeping voices silent with money. And this is completely not the concept the United Nations once were founded for. And it shows how far capitalism reaches, and how bizarre capitalism is, that it is not the sanity of the United Nations which decides about things, but it is only about the money. And this is what I wanted to add as my comment on the outcry in the media, as I see it completely different. Trump is in all of his unfortunateness, he's absolutely right addressing this. And
it's just very confusing, because we do have so many different sides. The same thing about the FBI. Right? The FBI is an abusive organization, and he's right to call it out. GOP's right to call it out, but they're doing a good job with Mueller. That's the hard thing. It's like, they don't always do the wrong thing, and that's what's confusing.
That's right. That's right, yes.
And what's your other news, Markus?
It's crazy times. Yes, speaking of crazy times, in Germany today it came in the Spiegel Online came an article about the US tax cuts and how far Germany will profit from it. And as you can see, wonderful cars coming from Mercedes-Benz. Daimler Chrysler or Mercedes Daimler will profit from it with 1.7 billion euros from the tax cuts in the USA. And BMW will get 1.55 billion euros from this tax cuts. And you can imagine now where the money goes, and how many of the new BMWs and Mercedes will be bought from this money. And I have the complaint of Trump in my ear when he started in office, when he said there are too many foreign cars in the streets. I only see the Mercedes, the BMWs. I know the same situation is in Europe, in Germany. There you don't see any American cars in the streets. And his tax cuts won't change it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Didn't you say this would actually end up making more? This is great.
Of course, the money the companies or the company bosses save, they will invest this money for their own purposes, and they will get maybe a third or a fourth Mercedes-Benz because it is nice. And there goes the money, and you will see even more Mercedes in the street.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Thank you, Markus, for that report. Fun stuff from Germany. Laura Livengood, do you have anything you want to add to this episode? No. Thank you for being here, you guys.
I'm good.
We're gonna. I know this is supposed to be like all progressive stuff, and we covered what's going on with us and the shows in the States and stuff, and a little bit of extra stuff. I can't not cover climate because it's the most exciting thing going on besides the collapse of the American oligarchy. I know I should say the rise of the American oligarchy, but it's just going to be up and down. It's not going to be around very long. right? There's a meme going around right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it that says the United States is now worse in terms of income inequality than when the French Revolution occurred, right? So when the French Revolution occurred, I believe the number was the 1% owned 34, maybe 36% of the wealth, and then the French went ape shit, and some people lost their heads. And we are at 1% owning 40%. So by that statistic, we should be marching on the Capitol right now and chopping off some heads. And I'm not going to complain if that happens. But it looks like our democracy, because the French didn't have a democracy, they had a monarchy. We're working towards that, so we still have democracy in place to hopefully avoid chopping off people's heads, no matter how much it would be cool for a couple of them. In my view, let's just make that clear, in my view. So, anyway, just wanted to say that. It's crazy stuff going on. The climate is the other thing, and this was predicted and known, and here it is being true. The Arctic experienced second warmest year and lowest winter sea ice extent on record. Now, the only thing that is not true is that the Navy said we should have had a blue ocean event, meaning no sea ice already. Should have happened in 2016. We're late. But on the other hand, a lot of stuff went on fire. And so, we got to remember that. We're still in a very, very bad place in terms of where we sit with sea ice, where we sit. You see the climate and what's going on with it. And we have a new climate pattern, right? We used to have 4 seasons. Now we have up and down, right? Just crazy shit going on. And it's affecting everything everywhere. So the Republic, to tie this into the fact that we see the dirty old men and the rich old men cashing out. And tie that in with the fact that we've got aliens. Okay. So I'm just saying.
It's a trifecta.
It's a lot of shit going down. And those of you denying the aliens understand that CNN and all the other big news outlets are now showing the footage. There's multiple camera footage. There's stuff from 2004, stuff from 2014. There's tons of it where the United States military and every other military around the world has said, that's not our plane. We don't have shit that flies like that. We don't have those capabilities. We've got footage of this stuff on FLIR. And that's alien tech, or it's the United States and other government messing around with alien tech and having fun with the dumb peasants, which is a great conspiracy theory.
Joyriding.
Right. And their pilots are like, they don't know it's us. I mean, that would be so fun. Just to know that we have the tech, right? Roswell wasn't bullshit, and we have it is great. Then all we need to do is get out of the hands of the insane warmongers.
Right.
Right. So, anyway. And just a message to Neil deGrasse Tyson. Such a fan, but you're so wrong about aliens. Wrong. We've got empirical evidence, and you won't investigate it? Bah. Boo on you, Neil. That's as angry as I can get at Neil, because I like Neil. Anyway, this is our space program that we know for real, and it's Elon Musk launching some badass Falcon 9 rockets, and he just did one, and that was what Lori Livengood was talking about, because she saw it.
Did.
This picture is from a guy named John Serlin. You can see one of the rocket booster, whatever, coming off there, and the other one going. This was taken. You think you saw it from far away? This was taken from Phoenix.
Whoa.
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes. So apparently it was viewable.
Right. Well, they had a straight shot. I saw it from 500-600 miles north. This is down by the Mexico border.
Yeah.
I'm near San Francisco, which is in the middle of the state.
Yeah.
And my son and I were walking down this south-facing hill, and all of a sudden we saw this big white cloud in the sky with these 2 little dots moving away from it. And we're like, what the heck is that? And we figured it had to be some kind of a rocket, but we'd both been away from the computer for a few hours, so we hadn't heard about this launch. But we realized that it was so bright white in the sky, but the sun had long gone down, so it had to be way up high.
Yeah.
And got in, and it was. But then I saw some of the pictures like you just showed, and that was just amazing.
Yeah.
Give us some more warning, though. Really, seriously, could have told us this yesterday.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I guess there was a lot of complaints about that too. People saying, "What the fuck?" Somebody, first it was aliens, and then it was North Korean missile I saw flying through, and I'm like, no, that looks way too good for a North Korean missile. Anyway, the cool thing about this information is that you got to realize, first of all, he's competing with the Russian rocket crew in terms of number of missions launched in a year. So this will be the company's 18th launch of the year, setting a new record for private space companies. The previous record was set in 2009 when SpaceX's competitors United Launch Alliance flew 16 missions. This is the small rocket. They're launching the big one, which is going to be the equivalent of a Saturn V, which we haven't launched since the Saturn V. That's in January. The other thing that's happening with these is they're using recoverable and reusable rocket boosters, and they're landing like I don't know if you guys watch Young Sheldon. You should watch. If you watch Big Bang Theory, which I do because I'm a nerd, and Jim Parsons is hilarious. Young Sheldon is even more hilarious. And I remember in the 80s, actually when it was early 80s, late 70s, when the space shuttle was first going off. The reason they did the space shuttle the way they did it was because every engineer on planet Earth said there's no way you can launch a rocket and have it come back down. We just don't have the technology for that. It's ridiculous. It's sci-fi. Whoever's thinking of that is an idiot. And along comes Elon Musk. Say, wouldn't it be great if we could just do that and reuse these boosters? We can. And Jeff Bezos, richest dude on Earth, is competing with Musk now. He's several years behind in development, but he's got his own thing that's apparently going to take rich people to space and back. Yay for him. Regardless of what you think of what he's putting in space, because a lot of people say he's launching, weapons tech. Sure he is. We put a lot of stuff in space. The big rocket that's being launched in January is going to be amazing, whether it succeeds or fails. So, just something to say there. If you want to watch something that makes you smile again about where we sit in terms of space, go watch the footage from SpaceX, because they do a great job. It's in HD. They have a host. It's great. They really do a good job producing their launch. It's nice. Anyway, just want to talk about that. I think we covered everything. I think we really did.
Yeah.
You want to explain the card? Laura, yes?
I don't know the card.
No, not you. No. I thought you were going to say something like you had something else to add.
Yes,
No. I'm sorry. I'm just admiring the card. It's very cheerful.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Falcon Heavy.
Good.
That's what we're talking about. Falcon Heavy, Manumas 11. Yes. Badass. It's got way more engines. I mean, if you're looking for if you're a guy looking for compensation, go with Falcon Heavy rocket as opposed to machine gun. Just saying, way better. I use long hair. All right. So Marcus, you want to tell us about the end song you picked?
Yes, of course. It is what I newly discovered. He's King Cruel. Archie Ivan Marshall, coming from London, and he's 23 years old right now.
Yeah, young guy.
Yes, and he has a very, very unique music style. It was an accident. I found him on YouTube, and I fell in love with this song. Unfortunately, we cannot stream this song due to copyrights, but I chose another song. This guy was on an American tour during the fall, and he came to Europe, quite successful. His unique music covers a kind of punk jazz. He includes trip hop elements and fusion jazz, and it sounds very complicated right now. Maybe it takes
Yes, it does.
maybe it takes more than one or two listenings into it, but I think it's very, very exciting to listen to his unique music style. he grew up. I read a little bit about him. He grew up and he had big problems with authorities. He couldn't stay in schools. He got homeschooled for a part, and he seems to be a hothead, someone who just goes his own way. And this is he's an artist. He does art also, and he's a very unique artist in my opinion, and I hope you like the music. The song is called Borderline, taking from his album 7 Feet Beneath the Moon. And yes,
nice.
For me, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, recover a bit from the work of the year, and thank you for watching, and see you next year.
Thank you, Markus. Thank you for all the hard work you've done. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Laura Livengood, do you want to have a holiday sign-off?
Yeah, I'm really grateful for all of you this year, and you on the screen with me here, and you out there in chat, and everyone else. You know who you are. This has been an amazing year, and I'm looking forward to a really amazing 2018. There's a lot of good we can do, and I really want to focus on that, and focus on what we love and not bash what we hate is kind of my motto. And I hope we are able to do a lot of that in 2018. So thank you, everyone.
Nice. Thanks. I would not be doing any of this without these two folks and without a multitude of volunteers. So thank you for giving me something to actually do besides scream at cops and the other people I dislike. Yes. You guys really. And thank you, Santa Larry, wherever you are. Thank you, Metalhead. Dang.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are great.
Metalhead. Thank you.
We were thinking about this, and I know I've said this before, but to everybody that sent me food and stuff, I eat it, and it's good. I can't remember who it came from, though. So a lot of times I'm like, this jam is really good. I wish I could remember what volunteer sent me this jam. But thank you all. Now that I've made my own jam, I appreciate the time and care that it takes to do these things. And so I just want to give a second thanks to everybody that sent me stuff, because that's really cool and not normal. Not that you're not normal. I'm just saying that's above and beyond. So thank you.
Did we want to mention the idea of doing a New Year's Day thing?
Oh, I was thinking about it. I don't know.
We thought about doing just a New Year's Day streamathon and play some music and just talk with all y'all, because we're going to be around. So what do you guys think of that? Discuss in chat even after we go off the air, and we'll talk. But if you like the idea and you're going to be around, encourage us.
Markus, you're going to be around, or you're going to be Germaning?
We gotta check times, of course, first. I cannot say anything right now.
That's right, because he will have already experienced. See, I was thinking, Laura Livengood, I was thinking what we could do is New Year's, or early New Year's for Markus from Germany, which would be about noon our time on New Year's Eve day. See, but he would have to be. He would have to be reassuring. It'd have to be like 9 or 10 o'clock his time, which would be like 11 or noon our time.
Let's plot. We could do. I'll be around for both. So
it's just an excuse to play music and hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all.
Would be great.
Yes. Thank you. So yeah. All right. Yeah. Great.
Okay, right. we're getting some thumbs up here. So yay. That might happen. Just so you all subscribe, so you'll know, and those of you in Slack will keep you posted.
Maybe if we have some of our hosts from our other shows, they can join us on this Streamathon event. Washington Burning Crabs Coalition.
Yes.
Bring up everybody, come in. Ooh.
Well, maybe we can get Ashley also in it.
Why not? Why not? We'll just invite everybody, and we'll do a Streamathon.
We'll do it all day, like we did for the eclipse. We'll just be setting good intentions for the new year.
We'll run as long as we can. Markus is going to have to run off and actually celebrate his New Year's. So that's all right. Thank you, everybody. Have a happy Christmas or whatever the hell you want to celebrate the next few days. I'm just going to bake stuff and remind myself of Mom. So, yeah. See you, everybody. Love.
Bye.
Bye.
I tried so hard. My feelings just can't discard the way in which I fell into your heart. Was never what I once knew. Lately my skull was kept dividing lines, deep set and paved. Two paths to wander through, to depart and sever desires to pursue. And the soul chokes to cause the tide, to enforce the pie. This whole ocean is moved inside. I let go of mine, saw my cries, reach slow motion to coin the mind. See here I trace my steps to where my sense had left and rain had turned my sense to mush. This slowly seeping straight through the crust. Now let these stains of gunk slip down to where my head once sunk and drowned. Just to wait for a while to see my body has merged to the deep cruel sea. But my soul floats, adrift thoughtless minds, distorted lines. The soul's broken down borderlines to cause the tide, to enforce the bind. This old ocean has morphed in time. I just score my